Legends, Gods, and Monsters. Up next on T's Multiverse. Welcome to T's Multiverse. I'm your host, Tyrus, and I am coming back at you with yet another DC Multiverse video. This is part one of a new series that I've titled Legends, Gods, and Monsters. So this is part one. Stay tuned for the others. Hope you enjoy this. This is going to be a lot of fun. What's old, what's new, McFarlane is irrelevant, man, with the way he drops everything. But folks, as you can see, we have some figures here that are more current, and then some that I've had for some time mixed in that I've been holding on for this very day, and it's really paid off. But you know what? I'm gonna stop babbling. Let's get to it, folks. As you can see, I have Superman from the Authority. I also have Midnighter that is a part of the Authority as well. As you can see here, I have Fire and Ice, as well as Zatana, along with Detective Chimp. Last but not least, we have the Red Brigade figure. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. Let's get to it. Let's go. All right, we're going to kick this thing off with the Man of Steel, and in a kind of different version of the Man of Steel than we've seen. Now, this version, I guess this is an Elseworld tale where Superman is losing his powers. He can hover but not fly, but his powers are fading, and he's seeking the assistance of the Authority, which Midnighter is a part of. So that's why I have him here. This is a figure that I definitely passed on a number of occasions going into the stores. As always, our characters are packaged with the collector's card. So we have Superman here with this collector's card, and on the back we have his data file. And then also for Midnighter, he is packaged with a collector's card as well and his data file. Or in terms of Superman's accessories, he is packaged with two sets of hands. These are more outstretched flying hands here. You see the blue and red designs throughout. Looks pretty good. All right, so we have two sets of swappable hands. Of course, the others are fisted hands. And this Superman, I gotta say, folks, like I said, I passed on this guy for a few times, and it grew on me. And even each time I go into the store, I see him, like, you know what? I'm gonna dive on in on this guy because I feel like he's so different, and I like the costume. Blue, red, and blue are my favorite colors. So I was like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm all in, and I feel like he works somewhere within my collection. Maybe like a multiverse collection, or just a shelf of different Superman characters. I feel like he works. He's so different looking that he definitely grew on me, folks. So I like this style of Superman. I like the costume. I like how they added the little gloves to his hands and everything, the little cuffs here. I like the belt and everything. Of course, he has the Kingdom Come emblem here. He could definitely work with the Crisis on Infinite Earth setup if you want to do that. This is I feel like it's a good multiverse Superman to add within your multiverse collection. Hint, wink, wink, whatnot. But I like it, man. He has he's rocking the red boots. Now, the thing I wish they would have did is they would have made this more like they would sculpted this more, not just painted. This looks a little cheap, but all in all, they did paint this very well. But it wouldn't have hurt if they would have sculpted this in, whatnot. But the designs, I like the designs, the dark blues, the dark blues really work well within this costume here. As you can see, Superman, this is an older Superman, so he is rocking the gray streaks all around the hair and everything. So I like that. McFarlane already used McFarlane with his older Superman. He kind of pulls back on the grays, but for this one here, he went all out. So I like that. So you got Superman rocking the gray all the way around. I like how they handled the hair here. He has the hair a little to the little S curl to the side on this with this version here. Face sculpt looks pretty good. This part looks really weird. I wish they would have handled this part behind the neck area better. That just looks a little odd. But overall, very solid looking Superman here. And again, he gives me a different take on the character that I really appreciate and that I like, man. And this guy looks like he could still do some damage, even though this is a more depowered Superman. You can still articulate him. He does not come with a flight stand, folks. So even though he can't fly, he can still hover, but he should come with a flight stand. But all in all, solid Superman figure, and I think he really adds, just add that versatility to my overall collection of Superman characters. And as you can see here, I've equipped our Man of Steel with the flight stand so he can hover, not fly, but hover, because this is the powered version of Superman. All right, so we have the Man of Steel, really solid figure overall, very different Superman here. And here for comparison, I have a multiverse of Superman here, all from McFarlane Toys. First up, we have, man, pretty much the most coveted Superman of all ages, and that is the Silver Age Superman. And last but not least, I mean, come on, man, we got the Kingdom Come Superman, yet another phenomenal figure from this line. How would you rank these Superman? Let me know in the comments, folks. All right, let's get on to the next. Up next, we have Midnighter. Now, Midnighter, folks, I featured this figure during a vacation video that I posted maybe like a year ago, folks. I mean, I got this guy in Target along with another figure that I just cannot remember the name. He was actually in another DC Multiverse video recently. But yeah, I love this character design. He gives me Batman vibes all the way through. I love that he comes with two Eskrima sticks, batons here decked out in all gray and everything. I just love I like this character, man. He's really cool, and he is a part of the Authority and everything. And there's a host of different, characters that are part of that team. I don't think we'll get to that because this line is winding down. It would have been cool if we would have got like the whole Authority team, the complete team of the Authority. That would have been awesome. But this figure looks really cool, folks. He does come with two sets of swappable hands. He has the open hand for the Eskrima sticks, and he also is packaged with two fisted hands as well, so he can give you the smackdown. But yeah, he was featured in a video, folks, some time ago. I put the link in the description below, and I was just impressed with him, and I'm equally impressed still to this day. And I was happy that I was able to I had a character that I could pair him with that really, ties into what Superman story is, because again, he reaches out to these characters who are kind of like, they're like anti-heroes. And so I like this figure. I like this character. He's always stuck with me, from the time I bought him a year ago to now. He's a really solid figure overall, folks. So articulation is pretty solid. Even though he has the jacket and everything, you can still articulate this guy very well. And again, man, the face sculpt just reeks Batman. Even though this is not Batman. Love the emblem here. This is utilizing one of Batman's costumes from years ago. I put the name below, but they definitely pulled this off very well. You armor boots, the knees, of course, the utility belt, and everything, the ropes. He has the areas where he can house various weapons and gadgets and everything. So he takes his cues from Batman, I tell you, folks. But this guy overall, solid figure, solid character, and I love it, man. Again, he just reminds me of an alternate Batman from another universe, and I love that. And I like the fact that he really ties into this version of Superman here. So you have Authority Superman and you have Midnighter from the Authority. So everything worked out in time. And with that being said, folks, we're gonna get on to the next segment. All right, let's get to it. Up next is the long awaited, and I mean the long awaited reveal, or not reveal, but we finally getting Zatanna, y'all. I can't talk today, but we finally have Zatanna. It's been a long time coming, and I could not be more happy, folks. I know collectors all around the world, just gave a sigh of relief when she was not even released, but when she was revealed, just to know that we were finally getting a Zatanna was just such a huge bit of news. And now to finally have her as a collector is just so gratifying. So really happy to have Zatanna. And not only Zatanna, we get, an extra accessory. I call it an accessory, which is Detective Chimp. Now, mind you, this version of Zatanna is the Platinum Edition version. I didn't choose this. I ordered this from GameStop. GameStop provided me this version. Either works for me. Now this version is pretty much based off the Justice League Unlimited, version of Zatanna. That's aesthetically, this is what this is pretty much is a wink to. The other with the fishnets is more based off the cartoon, not the cartoon, but the comic book version. So there's various versions of this character that McFarlane could still release. Don't know if we're gonna get that right now. Zatanna has definitely, showcased various styles through the years. As you can see, folks, we have Zatanna and Detective Chimp. Both were packaged with, of course, the display stand as well as the collector's card here for Zatanna here. So here we have Zatanna working her magic, and on the back we have her data file. Up next we have Detective Chimp's collector's card, and on the back we have his data file. First up, we're going to take a look at Zatanna. This is the one that we've been waiting on for what seems like forever. So let's go for a little razzle dazzle. All right, all right. So Zatanna is packaged with these two sets of swappable hands. These are pretty much emitting magic effects or whatnot. They could have done a better job with this, y'all. I mean, this okay. I mean, it's all right, but we can test this. I've been wanting to test this out on screen. I'm glad they gave us something. All right, I'm glad they gave us something. This could have definitely been better. But this is how this looks here. Um, I would have wanted, more magical effects that really pop. You have on the back of the collector's card, all, the stars and everything. So maybe like some translucent plastic with stars, sculpted in and everything to kind of give something, make the character pop with the magic that she emits and everything. This comes from Marvel Legends. This is some of the effects that they utilize. And I was like, maybe this goes with her. You can use these effects with her as well. So I think that they should have did a little bit more when you talk about effects and giving her, something to represent her magic and abilities. A hat that has a rabbit, coming out of it. That's something that I wish that it would have given us, because that's something that she does on the animated series. And again, just something that just emit magic. Maybe even something, a backdrop that has magical designs or magical effects or whatnot. So just something to really play off her powers and abilities. I think they really could have had a lot of fun doing that, and that this figure came across even better than it already has. Now I'm glad that they gave us a wand, a hand that has the wand, and I'm glad that they did sculpt this in, because these accessories are very easy to lose. So I appreciate McFarlane doing that for this figure, and for a lot of the figures, they're sculpting these accessories in. All right, folks. So as you can see right here, I've equipped her with yet another Marvel Legends, energy effect. This comes from Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. But I feel yet another magician or another, person of magic. But this works really well with her, folks. So I think I'm going to utilize this here. You can also still do both. I feel like both works. The hair can be removed as well. I think at some point they were going to add maybe another hair piece or whatnot, but they decided not to. There is a bit of a little bit of a backstory with this figure here. Initially, it was supposed to be a part of the McFarlane Elite Edition, and I'm glad they didn't do that, because placing her in the Elite Edition, and I've said this in previous videos, what you get does not warrant that $50-$60 price mark. The Elite Editions cost way more than, a little bit like 30 something dollars more than what you're getting with this figure here, and I feel like I'm glad they didn't do that, because I feel like that would have been too much of a blow to the consumer to charge that much money for a figure that does not give you enough accessories to warrant that price point. Here, in terms of Zatanna, she looks great. I feel would have loved a different face sculpt, maybe something with her smiling as opposed to just this more just stoic look that she has. Again, you can take the hat off so you can see her hair. Hair looks really good, very sculpted in, very well, decked out in all black. I can see maybe some highlights of blues possibly within the hair as well. Again, this look is based off the Justice League Unlimited look. So she has maybe like this, the pink stockings. She has of course, the black underoos and everything, the navy blue jacket and everything, white shirt here. She has the black shoes. Everything really works well together to give us that, that classic Zatanna look. And again, she's had various looks through the years. But this is the one that we all recognize her of. I know a lot of people want the fishnet stocking version, and I could have went either way. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. But again, overall, I'm just happy to have a Zatanna, within my collection, and that you can have fun, with this figure here. Placing the hand in her hand, and maybe even trying to find maybe little rabbits that you can place within the hat. You know, maybe you can put this in here to kind of play off her powers or something like that. You just do things to have fun, you know, to make the figure work for you that much more. Overall, really solid figure. Love how she came out aesthetically. The accessories could have been better. But again, man, this figure was this is a long time coming, y'all. A long time coming. And so up next, let's take a look at Professor Chimp. Now, this is basically is an accessory. All right, he has like 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation. So you know, head moves around here. Head kind of came off, but you can move the head around. He has arms go like this. All right, and the waist moves. Okay, so you have no articulation in the legs or anything like that. Solid accessory, just dated articulation and everything. But even with that, man, happy to have Professor Chimp. Now, McFarlane, you know that you should have added a magnifying glass to this figure here. Little magnifying glass so that he can have some sort of an accessory to, you know, to showcase his detective abilities. You know, here you can see Chimp utilizing the magnifying glass here, but no magnifying glass for our figure, man. So they really should have added that, man. That was a bit of a letdown when they revealed Detective Chimp. So I'm gonna have to find me a little mini magnifying glass. I love Detective Chimp. I think he's one of the most funniest but coolest characters in DC Comics, man. So really happy that we got this. I mean, even though it's more of an accessory, it's something to add with not only Zatanna, but guess what? You get to place your other Justice League Dark. Now that we have Zatanna, we get to place everybody else around these figures here. And man, I've been waiting on this, folks. This is what I've been waiting on for what seems forever, y'all. I'm telling you, man, I've been doing these videos, and man, every time I be like, okay, we're gonna get a Zatanna. We gotta get Zatanna, and we finally have her. And now I get to place Justice League Dark with her. Constantine is happy. All right, so we got to do the roll call, y'all. All right, so we have Etrigan. We have my main man, Constantine, who's ready to start some trouble. We have, of course, Zatanna, Detective Chimp. We have Dead Man, and we have Shining Knight, as well as Swamp Thing. And you know what? I'm gonna throw in Batman. All right, we're gonna have Batman here too. Folks, you know what? I almost forgot one more Justice League Dark character, and I just can't leave him out. I just can't do it. And that is my main man, Frankenstein. All right, so we're gonna this again, folks. This has been a long time coming, man. Making reviewing Frankenstein, Swamp Thing, Etrigan, pretty much everybody up here, and saying we need a Zatanna, and we finally have her. So Zatanna has officially joined Justice League Dark and is in T's Multiverse, ready to lead the Justice League Dark to more dark mysteries than we could ever imagine. And I'm gonna stop babbling because we need to get on to the next segment, all right? But I'm happy, y'all. It's done. Justice League Dark has been assembled. And here alongside Zatanna is yet another mystical being, as well as one of the best McFarlane Toys figures ever, man. This figure is awesome. And that is none other than the Silver Age Dr. Fate. All right, next we have the Rocket Red Brigade, and we finally get to unite Fire and Ice, man. And again, this is one of those, finally, after some time, reuniting these characters. So really happy about that. All right, folks, we're going to take a look at Red Rocket Brigade, man, because this is I want to say a bit of a deeper cut character, a figure that we're getting from this line, man. I mean, it's a character I don't know a lot about. I know he's a part of one of those, you know, armored team of, I want to say, kind of anti-heroes, because there's some backstory to this guy throughout the Justice League comics. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's interesting that we're getting this guy. Now, there is Platinum Edition version with the lighter paint deco, maybe a few little tweaks within the designs. Hadn't been able to didn't get that one. I said I'm either getting one or the other. So I decided I went on this one because this is the only one I just kept seeing in Targets over and over again. And I'm happy because I like the weathered look throughout the costume. I think it really plays up to this armored character. look and everything, darker paint deco than we get with the Platinum Edition version. Now, I do want to add, in terms of accessories, this figure is packaged with these two propulsion blasts that you can attach to his feet area. All right, so this is much like the Batwing as well as the Manhunters from the Lanterns. All right, so you can place this here, which is really cool. However, again, McFarlane left this guy without a flight stand, y'all. He is packaged with a propulsion blast effect here for his jetpack. You can remove this if you want, but you can also, of course, I'm going to keep it in. All right, so that's pretty cool. So it has some pretty cool accessories and attachments for this character, this figure here. Would have loved if they would have given us some blast effects for the gauntlets here, because this is where he shoots this little blast effects, much like Iron Man. So this is pretty much I would say a poor man's version of Iron Man. All right, I have a box of accessories, or many boxes of accessories, and I found this, and I was like, man, this is perfect. So I do have a blast effect to add to him. Now, as you can see here, he does have the number 7 here on inside his armor, but you can take this off. You pull this out here and replace the numbers as you would like. So this really plays up to the whole army building aspect of this whole Rocket Red Brigade figures, which is really smart. You get a few of these, you add these two numbers, and you have a team that have distinct numbers to them. So you have number 3 and number 11. So this is pretty cool. Awesome figure. I love it. The only drawback, again, was no flight stand. But I like the fact that he gave us the blast effects for the feet, and as well as for the jetpack. Would have been cool. Again, we would have given some blast effects for the hands. But I'll take what we've given, folks. And I think, again, this is a fun figure to have. I'm looking to possibly army build 2 more if they go on clearance. If I can catch them at Target, because it's really difficult to catch Target figures that you really want, because everybody else is shopping for them. All right, up next, we're going to take a look at Ice from Fire and Ice. And again, man, we finally get to pair this tandem together. There's no fire without ice, and there's no ice without fire. So, but as you can see, Ice is decked out in her baby blues and her whites. So we got 2 fisted hands for Ice. We also have these 2 ice effects that you can place to her hands that really showcases her ice abilities. So I like that. This is decked out in that blue and white, and I love the texture that they're utilizing for the ice effects for the hands. Looks really good. So the texture really pops and it really shows out overall. She also is packaged with even more ice accessories to showcase how she's freezing somebody. So you can place this on her opponents as she is utilizing her freeze abilities. So this is basically made out of the same material or the same mold as the Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. So that's what they're utilizing here. But again, I love the texture that they're utilizing for these ice effects. But overall, man, it's really solid figure. I love how they handle her hair. That's the one thing that really shows out to me, is I like how it's swooshing in the air, decked out in all white. The detail, it's really good overall. This is a soft goods piece here, which is very impressive. Decked out in all white. Again, you can take this off. I don't know why you would, but the rest of the costume is decked out in the baby blues and the whites. She has the kind of like, I call them the He-Man boots. All right, so it's like the He-Man boots here, decked out in all white and everything. But overall, really solid figure, and I'm really happy to finally have this character, man, because it really plays up to the Justice League team that I was following back in the day with Guy Gardner, and I had Mr. Miracle, Batman, and all those guys. So definitely would like to, pair her up with that team. Let's get Guy Gardner out here. Let's get him in this video here. But yeah, we get Guy Gardner here, yet another phenomenal figure from DC Multiverse here alongside Ice here. So yeah, she's gonna be pairing up with him as well as some other Blue Beetle, Booster Gold. That's the team I'm creating with getting her character now, because that was the last one I needed. Oh, we got another one, folks, that's coming out. Bloodwine. He is a part of that team as well. Cannot wait for him. he's yet another one of those reveals, folks, that's coming come March, April. So stay tuned for more DC Multiverse, y'all. But Guy Gardner, man, this looks really cool. Ice from Fire and Ice. Love the accessories. Aesthetically, she really shines overall. I think McFarlane, he does an excellent job with the female figures. I mean, we need more because I mean, overall, for the most part, the female characters, he brings it, and I believe that through and through. So this character looks really awesome, and to finally have now fire with ice is just so cool, man. Now, I purchased fire like again. This was like a year ago, year and a half ago. This was a Target exclusive, and I think a lot of people they wasn't liking this figure. I mean, I like it. I love the translucent look that they went with the texturing that they utilized for her ice. They used for fire's abilities as well. I like that. Now, much like Ice, you can remove her accessories from her hand, her energy effects from her hands, and just have her without. I keep these on her. I think they just you have to have these on fire. I mean so that she shines. But I like this figure. I think it's very simplistic, all translucent plastic and everything. Love how they sculpted the hair. Is this the best DC Multiverse figure or one of the best? No, but it does the job for me. I think it gives you what you need. Now, I would have loved if we would have been given maybe some more effects to attach to her to play off the fire abilities. But the fact that we were given these two pieces of fire accessories to attach to her hand, these look really good, man. The texture and everything, the scope, the detail works really well. Overall, I really like this figure, man. And again, the translucent effects really shine. They really work well throughout. We have some little fiery effects around the waist here. Face sculpt was handled very well. So overall, I really like this figure, folks. I know a lot of people was like not feeling this fire figure and how it was, how everything was, brought to life, but I like it. I really like it. And I guess, it's one of those to each is their own type thing. And again, it's just like, is this the best figure ever or one of the best? No. But it gives me enough of what I need from this character, to have within my collection. Do not regret getting this figure here. And I think she works as an awesome addition overall. And again, I get to pair, the best buds together, man, in fire and ice. There's no fire without ice, and there's no ice without fire. So I'm happy that I'm able to pair this team together. And again, I'm able to build out that Justice League of America team that has these two here. So I want another little tidbit. I know Ice had a thing for Superman, so she did have a crush on Superman throughout that Justice League of America, but he never really noticed her. So it's a little bit of a side note, y'all. So we had a little bit of a love thing going on with her wanting to be Superman, and then there was like the whole Guy Gardner thing, so she wasn't really studying Guy Gardner. Maybe he did one of them, maybe he didn't. Whatever is it, y'all, we're gonna get on to the next segment. All right, let's get to it. And as you can see, I've assembled much of that Justice League of America team, all from McFarlane Toys, starting yet again with another appearance, Silver Age Dr. Fate. Now, just how bad this figure is. He's making like 2 appearances all in one video. I'm pretty sure that you might see him yet again, folks, so stay tuned for that. All right, then up next we have, of course, Fire and Ice, the featured characters of this video. Then we have the Green Lantern that everybody loves to hate, and that is none other than Guy Gardner. Up next, we got my main man, the Nightfall version 1 Batman. Then we have yet another phenomenal figure, and that is Mr. Miracle. Then up next, we have Blue Beetle and his buddy, Booster Gold. Then up next, we have our favorite Martian, and that is none other than the classic Martian Manhunter, folks. But we have yet another Martian Manhunter on the way, so stay tuned for that. Last but not least, we have Shazam to round out the group. All right, folks, let's get on to the next. All right, folks, that's all I have for this episode. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Thanks for tuning in to what is part 1 of my Legends, Gods, and Monsters series. Stay tuned for part 2. That is coming up. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, or you don't miss any of my videos, folks. So definitely tune in. I appreciate each and every one of you who are tuning into my videos. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think about these figures. Let me know what are you hoping to see from McFarlane Toys as this line winds down. We still got a whole nother year of McFarlane, whole nother lot of reveals, pre-orders, things that's going to be dropped on us all at once. So stay tuned for that. So let me know in the comments what you've been collecting. You know, so much to talk about. So be sure to comment below. Let me know. But yeah, let me know what you think about these figures, folks. Again, folks, be sure to ring that bell for all notifications so that you get each and every one of my content pieces as it drops. And also, what? You know what I'm going to say, right? Like, share, and subscribe. If you've done that already, I truly appreciate it, folks. Be sure, again, comment below. Also, hype the video. That really helps get the channel out there for others to see. Helps the channel grow. So I appreciate all the support. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, be good to one another. Be safe. Stay tuned. And I'll talk to y'all later. All right? Bye for now.